So my first tip is to really check what you're gonna learn the next day beforehand. That's gonna be so helpful when you're learning Korean. It might be not a very original tip, but it's one that you should follow because that's gonna let you ahead of the other students. You know, when you check the words first, sometimes there's this translations that we don't actually know what they mean. It's like, I understand the translation, but I don't know where to apply this word, what kind of context. Like, this kind of things happen a lot when you're learning a language that is so far from ours. And when you do that in Korean, then the next day the teacher will explain, and then you remember when you checked it before, and like, so this is how you use it. Nice. Also, when you read, even sometimes when you know the grammar and you know the words in the sentence, you don't understand what they mean by that sentence. It's like when you cannot understand something, and then the next day the teacher will be explaining like every sentence in the reading. So this is what they mean. This is how they arrange the sentence to get to that meaning, and then it sticks to your head because it's a doubt that you've been having since the day before or so. So, you know, that's really helpful. And another thing that I saw a lot of students doing, and I don't agree with that, I'm not sure it's okay to say they're doing it wrong because everybody has their own way to study, you know, like they know what works best for them, I guess. But I do feel like that's not the most efficient way of studying readings, which is like every time they see a word they don't know, they write a translation on top of that word. So when they are reading the text, they can automatically know what that means, and then they will comprehend the text better. But the thing is that when we know a language, it's automatic. We don't choose. Like, if you see a sign in the streets and it's in Korean and in English, and you know English and you don't know Korean, you're gonna automatically see the English. Sometimes you don't even see there was a Korean translation there. You don't even realize it. You know what I mean? It's like our eyes just go straight to what we can understand. It's just normal. And when you do that in the text, you're gonna have to force yourself to make yourself read the Korean one because you already saw the translation version. Because your eyes are gonna see automatically. There's like a text in Korean. You translate it to a language that you're more comfortable with. And then when you're reading, your eyes are gonna read that word in your language first and not in Korean. And then you're gonna try to see, this is in Korean. But if you don't do that, which is what I did, and it was so helpful for me, was you don't translate it. You make, can I show you a book? I will show you. Okay, so this is one of the texts, right? The highlighted parts I actually did when I was re-studying it before the exam, so ignore the highlights. But the thing is, every new word, because they usually have the list of vocab here. So every new word that I didn't know, I make a circle, and then in this case there were a lot, so I just put a post-it and then I wrote them here. But I usually just use the book, the sides to translate it, or even here sometimes. And the ones that I've seen before but I don't remember the meaning, I just underline it like this. So you do it like this, and by doing this you feel more comfortable because when you read, you know that is a new word, so it's okay to not know that. And you just go there and check the translation, like up here. You're first reading in Korean, so your brain is not, your eyes are not like automatically checking the translation and already understanding because you have the translation. It's like you're trying to read in Korean, you know, like you saw the word in Korean first, so you can't actually know if you know or not the word because you will see only the word in Korean. Then if you don't know, you can just go to your translation up there and then, so this is what it is, and then you read again the sentence, and then you can check again. Now, do I understand this word? Because you're still not seeing the translation there. So I hope it makes sense for you. And sometimes there is like a whole sentence, like I said, that is like, I don't understand what they mean by this sentence. So I underline the whole sentence, and then I try to write the meaning on the side, and then I read again and again, like a couple times, until I'm like, okay, so now I understand the structure, why the sentence is like this. This is really helpful, really. And also before the exams, I try to reread at least once all of the texts. And the last thing I wanted to say about this is, like, maybe not at level 1, I don't know, level 2 or 3 maybe, you can try to do this, which is don't translate the vocab that is there first. Like, translate the vocab and then try to read the text. Don't do that. Like, try reading first. And, like, you're there reading, you start, and then the first sentence there's a word you don't know, for example, and then ouch. So you're reading, and then, like, for example, in the first sentence there's a word you don't know, and then you check in the vocab list if it's there, and like, oh, okay, so this is one of the new words. And if you cannot understand or guess, you just translate right away. Or even if you can, you just translate to make sure that's what you understood was right. And then you translate the words as you see them in the text. That's so much better for memorizing as well, because you're trying to guess first by context, and that is also helpful for understanding the word, like the meaning of it. Those little things when you're studying, it's like there was that moment where I thought this word was this and it was not, and there's a small moment make it easier for you to memorize it, even without you realizing that, you know. You try to guess, and then if you were right, like, oh, I was right, so this is what it is. So this feeling, this moment, it helps you memorize. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it was helpful. I'm sure if you try to follow those tips, it's gonna make your life a lot easier when you're learning Korean, and more fun. At least for me, this is how it was. It worked so well, and of course, you don't have to do exactly how I'm saying. You can start by doing exactly what I'm saying, and then you adapt it to your own way, what you think feels better or more correct for you. And okay, these were my tips for studying Korean when you're learning Korean. I hope it was helpful for you guys, and that's it.